Hello and welcome to MySQL for Beginners Lesson 2. In this lesson I'm going to be showing you how to use PHP to retrieve data from a MySQL database, and then we'll be able to use this database, which is useful, and it follows up on the previous tutorial. Okay, so before we can get any PHP coding done, let's go ahead and create our new database. Let's call this database our database, and click create. And let's add a table called some data, and name that, give that table 3 fields. And if we hit go, we'll be able to edit those fields. Yeah. So the first field will be name, the second field will be email, and the third field will be address. Address being physical address, not email. Let's set the types to variable character, all 3 of them, and the length of name, let's say maximum 40 characters. Email, you know, some freaks have 100 character emails, so, and address 1024. Yep, that's about it. Save, and our table and database has been created. Yep. So now we can start coding in PHP. See. Oh wait, sorry. Let's add some data to this database. Just so we've got a few examples we can use with PHP. Name. Let's put Bob. Email bob@gmail.com. Address Bob's home. Go. Let's do one more. Name Jack, email jack@gmail.com, and address Jack's home. And then one last one, just for the sake of it. Chris@gmail.com. Chris's home. Alright. So now we can actually get started creating the PHP code that will actually retrieve these values from the database. Okay, so now we can start writing the PHP code that will retrieve data from the database. We can start by creating the connection. This has all been explained in the previous tutorial, so I won't go through it. Alright, now a simple if statement. I'll just write it out and explain. Alright, so we're going to try connect. The exclamation mark means if we can't connect, we want PHP to die, in other words stop running the rest of the page, with the message failed to connect, and attach what MySQL gives us an error. Alright. Otherwise, all the code here will only be run if we haven't died yet. So now all we need to do is select the database. We can do this by using MySQL_select DB, and this database, we named it our database. That should be good. In fact, let's put this in an if statement just in case it goes wrong. It's always good to be as verbose as possible when you're developing your scripts. Failed to select DB. Alright, so if it manages to successfully select the MySQL database, we're going to continue running the scripts here. Alright, so now let's actually retrieve some data from the database. Let's create a variable called results and set this to a MySQL query, MySQL underscore query. And the query we're going to be running now is we're using select. And for now I'm going to use the star, which means select. So far our query is saying select everything. Now we need to specify where to select it from. So select everything from. And then the name of our table. We named the table some data. And that's it for the query. Right now, and then to use that data, what we need to do is we create a while iteration. While, and then we set a variable called row. Set that to equal to MySQL underscore fetch underscore array of results. Don't worry, I'll explain this clearly just now. Let me finish writing it. I hope this isn't too difficult. I know we're quite early on in the series, but it's useful what we're doing here. Alright, so we've got our variable called results, which is storing the results of the query. Then what we need to do is use MySQL fetch array to take the results in this query and sort of organize it into an array. So that's going to be stored in row. So right now, if we run the script, it's going to echo the name in each. It's going to echo every name in the result because we told it to echo the field name. We could also add email, etc. But let me just show you how it works. Yeah, so it's gone ahead and taken every name. It's taken every piece of data in the field name and echoed it out onto the screen. Go back to Notepad++. We can also add their email address below by doing $row email. I really hope I'm explaining it clearly. I feel like I'm not, but oh well. I'll rely on your feedback. Go back and refresh this. Right, so Bob at gmail.com. Didn't format it very well there, but anyway, Jack at gmail.com, etc. So that's how you select stuff from a MySQL database. The next tutorial I'll show you perhaps how to use a filter on your selection. So let's say you want to just select all the email addresses owned by John. I'll show you how to do that next lesson.